I mean, it's not great, is it?
What you're looking at is London's newest and worst rated tourist attraction, an artificial mound that cost the council some £2 million. As you saw, I went down to check it out, so let's explain what it is and why it's so controversial right now. Before we get going with this chaos, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to, check out our sister channels, TLDR EU, US and Global, all of which are linked down below. Thanks for your support. So let me give you some context. This is the Marble Arch Mound, a brand new tourist attraction on the corner of Hyde Park by the historic Marble Arch. It's also notably at the end of one of London's most famous shopping streets, Oxford Street, and right near other retail hotspots like Regent and Bond Street. The plan was that by building this temporary structure, an artificial hill, it would pull in tourists and locals alike to this area, boosting retail spending and the economy of the borough. It was originally pitched as an exciting new way to get views of London, with sweeping views of the city from a lush man-made hill. I mean, the idea is weird, but weirder still, they originally wanted to cover up the arch with the hill, until experts warned of the potential damage that entombing could do to the monument. However, mad idea aside, you can kind of see the logic that a wild new attraction could temporarily boost visitors and encourage spending throughout the summer and the autumn, bringing people back to physical stores and reversing the trend of people shopping online. However, these lush, verdant plans didn't really materialise, with social media quickly mocking the construction and the operators having to issue refunds on opening day. So with this car crash a mere 30 minutes walk from the TLDR studio, I had to take a trip down. Weirdly, when I attempted to book tickets online, I was told that they were sold out. And in fact, the site now won't even let you book anything for the entire month. Undeterred, I thought it was still worth viewing from the ground, so I headed out. Obviously, being London, it immediately started raining, but fortunately, as I got closer, the weather started to cheer up, and I even saw a bit of sun. And walking down Oxford Street, I was excited to see what was peeking round the arch, and I found, well, this.
I mean, it's not great, is it?
Notably, all the photos used on the project's website, including those where you book tickets, are renders and not the actual reality, which is significantly more lackluster. Despite the fact I couldn't book tickets to go up, even though it clearly wasn't busy, I wasn't surprised by the negative reviews. The hill, if we're calling it that, is far from impressive, surrounded by cheap plastic fencing, and, well, just looking horrible. Clearly the project is failing, or as the operators have described it, having teething issues, and social media isn't being kind, with endless jokes and memes at the project's expense. The actual press haven't been much kinder either, with many lambasting the council for spending so much money on, well, that. Specifically, some have criticised the council for wasting money on the hill instead of spending money on real issues in the community, such as working to remove dangerous cladding from buildings following the Grenfell Tower fire which took place in the neighbouring borough a few years ago. Looking at the current state of the hill, it's easy to understand these frustrations, especially considering how hard the city, its residents and businesses have been hit by the pandemic. However, I can also understand where the council's coming from. While I was walking to the offending Mario 64 level, I passed loads of empty shops. These photos are just the ones I happened to walk past in one small section of Regent Street and South Molton Street. It's clear that this area needs shoppers and businesses to return, so a big project could have been enough to do that. Maybe it still will. The project's developers have admitted that it opened too soon, but promised that it will get better, insisting that we have to give nature time. Will time be enough to turn this ugly mound into the promised landscape? I do somewhat doubt it, and I'm not even sure it was the best idea in the first place. If they were going to do something like this, then the idea circulating Twitter to use the arch's natural historic beauty in combination with modern art like Tate Britain did last year seems like a far better idea to me. Aesthetic judgments aside though, I'm interested to hear what you think. Is this a tricky start, but ultimately a good idea to help businesses in the area, boosting the economy enough to justify its cost? Or was this just a ludicrous idea, regardless of how ugly it turned out? Let me know in the comments below. As I said at the start, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when we release future videos. Special thanks to our Patreon backers who make videos like this one possible. And if you want to see your name at the end of videos, then you too can back us on Patreon. The link to that is in the description.